Hi everybody, let's do a thread Thursday. Now we're going to do raised stem stitch or band, as I've found it's called in different places. Okay. Now I went and did some research and found that the raised stem can be done in quite a few different ways. So what I'm doing first is Kathy's little design, where it's probably a simple basic one. Now that looks nice. Maybe we'll use that. Now she starts with a sharper needle at the start. That's the one. Maybe I'll just use this ready to go. Now whether you're doing it right to left for a right-hander or left to right for a left-hander, I think I'm just going to use this. So it's a row of little stitches, and this is the water-based. Just never could get that heat erase happening. So it's a row of, like a ladder. It's like a ladder, that's what it's like. Okay, now when you're coming to the end of it, and this is where Kathy used all the same thread, but I'm going to use a different one. Alright, so this would be where a left-hander would come up. And then I've got a blunter needle. It's not totally blunt, but it's blunt enough. You come under there like that and go under this one. So you're going to do that along the whole row. Now when I get to the end of this row, I'm just going to put my thread in to the other side of that. And you're going to come up here and start that process again. Just up at the top there, where you came up the last time. So just bear in mind this is the right-handed way, the left-handed way to do it. Now this to me is feeling very relaxing. If you had a little stand, just thinking about Judy, if you had a little stand, you'd still be able to do it if you couldn't use both your hands, or if you don't have two hands. I've got one or two of my subbies who only have one hand, and sometimes I think, how would they do that? How couldn't it be done? So I think this stitch, Judy, if you want to have a go at it, could be done if you had a little holder. You know there's little holders that you can get? So we just continue, push it back, continue along. Now I've just managed to fit in 2 more rows, really pushing it, and the last 2. That one's a little bit harder. Put it under those and take it to the back and cast off. I've got one thread sticking out there, but that's quite effective. I really like it. The thing you could do, I think there's many, because I've seen quite a few, so I've seen people doing, let's do a bit of that. Okay, I've seen people do this. And now to me, when I was watching a lady demonstrate this, I thought, well, that's just couching. However, we can use that raised stem stitch. Right, let's just get it down first. I've still got the same bit of thread I was using here, so I've still got a blunt needle. I think it's okay. It's going through all right. Okay, so I can cut this off, or maybe I'll cut it off at the end just in case it gets a bit too hectic. There. All right. So I'm doing the same zigzag thing, ladder, the little ladder. Now, one lady I was watching on YouTube did this. So this is one thing you can do, which to me is just a basic couching. I mean, it is, it's couching stitch, isn't it? But then what she's done is done the weaving over the top. So there were 3 different things this other lady did. First she did this was one stitch, which I'm going to call couching. Now what I've used is this, which is a beautiful wool, and I have forgotten, but I did watch Joannette where she said she had so much of it if anyone wanted some sent out. So we did a little swap. That's Joannette from Joannette's Crafting Corner, and we did a little swap. And she's posted some of this, and I've posted some of my alpaca, which I've started now to put onto these little threads holders, so I can at least have some ready to go when I want to use it. I'll put that there. Maybe we'll use that. Right, I've threaded up, and I've decided to double strand it to see how that looks. Right, so these fluffy ends are going to be a little bit difficult. All right, which way am I doing it? Left-handed way. Right, so this is going to be the same process. So as I was saying, the lady who I was watching on YouTube had that as the first stitch. She had this as the second stitch. I don't know what she had as the third. Maybe just coming up here. Oh, I know. I think she just did once and made it sit on that side of it. So like this one that I'm doing. And then once and made it sit on the opposite end. And I think this has come out of this end. It's got a bit messy. Yes, so she's done it so that this sits at that end and another row which sits at this side. But because I'm trying to do it like this, I'm just going to come under and come back up to the top. I think with the ends of this, you know, it's, I guess once you've done it really tight all the way along, you could cut them off and have them sitting so that they're under. But this is a way of couching that I hadn't done before. I hadn't thought about maybe if you couch down and you've got stitches set at a certain distance, you could actually then weave back in. So I like this. This is nice. Enjoying it. And it is quite peaceful. I think weaving is quite peaceful. Just the fiddly, because I've used a very fibrous, loose bit of material underneath that's made it a little bit difficult. Just this end one. Okay, I only really fitted one more row in here. It was a bit difficult. And then coming in under. So I can see now that the ends do look quite okay. Let's have a little play and get that off. You know what it looks like to me? Remember those knitting Nancy's? You know the knitting Nancy's? Looks like one of them. They made a really good effect. It was like a little stocking, wasn't it? All right, let's see if I can get this bit off this end. So who'd have known? That's it, raised stem stitch. Sometimes I wonder who comes up with all these things. Definitely quite effective with a bit of something underneath. Maybe if you wanted this outside effect and not seeing any of what's underneath, I would suggest not using something as, you know, as pull-aparty as this. I love it. It's beautiful. Thanks, Joannette. And very... See, that is raised, but this is even more raised. I don't know if you can see that. I love the texture. Isn't it good? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is insert some pictures, because it was too hard to film because I was doing it down. I took my machine downstairs and I did a bit more on my large work. And what I did, I've put a band along the top of it, so I've had my material at the top and I've put, I'll just explain it because I'm just going to put photos in. So I've put my, I've done this, folded it, it's ironed and then folded like that, and I've sewn 2 rows along like that. And then what I've done, I haven't got any, I'll just pretend, because it's downstairs. What I've done is I've got bits of lace and sewn them on like that. And then put something in here. I'm still working it out. I've got some bits of doweling, I might use that to hang it. Anyway, you'll see, I'll show it. So here I'm just showing that I've put the lace either side and pinned it down, and I've done a straight stitch around the edges and then a zigzag down the middle. Here's the end result. I made them longer, and then what I did was cut them and tied them, and so this is the bit of dowel. It's a couple of sticks which have got twiggy ends. Okay, here it is. I've laid it out and I'm standing back and hopefully I am getting a good enough look at it. So I'll pan down. I know, because it's so big it is hard to actually photograph.
Plus I've got to hold my phone horizontally, so it's a little bit more difficult to get it all in. That's it. So hopefully Judy requested that, so hopefully you enjoyed that, and anyone else who was interested. And I will see you in the next one. I think Thread Thursdays have made a comeback, probably maybe fortnightly or monthly, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Lots of love. Bye for now.